Industrial production, it fell 0.2%, second decline in 3 months. So that suggests some weakness in, obviously, in the industrial sector. A little tongue tied there. Home builder confidence. So one headline describing it as it's plummeted, which to some degree it has, not relatively from the previous month, 35 to 32, but relative to what is considered a good number, it's 50. 32 is a pretty low number. So yeah, the home builders are pretty grumpy right now. They've got some excess inventory. It's getting harder to sell homes. But you know what? I keep saying it. Home builders, they jump into action and they are going to offer incentives to get those homes moved. We are handling some loans for buyers of new homes, and the incentive amounts that we're seeing in our loan files for these new home buyers ranging from $20,000 to $35,000. And a lot of that is those incentives are for homes priced in the 5 to 800. So that's a pretty good incentive amount for that price level. So home builders understand that strategy to get their homes sold. We keep trying to convince the resale markets, realtors and their sellers and the buyers that they ought to look at the same thing. Housing starts fell 9.8% in May, down to 1.2 million. And yet all these down numbers, get this, the Atlanta Fed is still forecasting. In fact, they updated their forecast at the beginning of June, forecasting that GDP for the second quarter, which ends soon, June 30, they're forecasting GDP growth to be 4.2%. That is huge when you consider that May was flat. So, and that's an increase in their forecast. Before June, they were forecasting 3.8. So kind of odd that we're hearing these current, reduced down numbers for some of these financial data points or economic data points, and yet the Atlanta Fed is telling us we're going to be really happy with a very high growth number in the second quarter. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And then lastly, we did have a Fed meeting this week, a meeting of what's called the Federal Open Market Committee.